Let's talk about some Minnesota Vikings that could be playing their last game in a Vikings uniform this Sunday. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus, and we're talking about, I think it's 6 Minnesota Vikings that this could be their last game. Some make us happy, some make us very sad.
Yeah, I mean, some of these are some longtime stalwarts of the team, and to say goodbye, it's not going to be easy to do. But you know what? Got to suck it up and do it, just like Boys and Men sang about. Now we come to the end of the road.
Yeah, and this doesn't count. This doesn't count like Kirk Cousins or DJ Wanham. It doesn't count the ones that are injured. These are the ones playing.
Playing, just like Onebar was with himself in the shower earlier. Before we talk about these guys who could be saying goodbye, hit that subscribe button right now. It feels so damn good. We're really having a nice surge lately of subscribers. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we're going to be having a lot of off-season topics, so be sure to hit that notification bell as well so you know when we are on. But let's just get into it now. Let's start with one that I guess as a team will probably hurt the worst if this is the case, and that's Danielle Hunter, edge rusher, 29 years old.
29 years old. He's really challenging to be the NFL sack leader this year. If he has a big game against Detroit, he could actually get that. He's had a career number in sacks this year. Huge part of this defense. Really, he is our pass rush for the most part. Losing Danielle Hunter would be huge. It would be very, very difficult to replace, almost impossible. And to think of life without Danielle Hunter makes my parts shrivel up.
Well, and hats off to Danielle Hunter. He signs that 1-year deal and he explodes. He's having his best season ever as a pro. And he's going to get a sack or two on Sunday. So Danielle Hunter, I mean, his biggest issue is why he won't come back is obviously his salary. He's going to command like $25 million plus. I mean, he is still performing at a very, very high level. And you see what the Bosa's and all those guys are getting paid. They're getting paid bank, and he's going to get bank. Somebody's going to pay a lot of money for him.
Yeah, and will that be the Vikings? I don't know. Like earlier in the season, I kind of felt there was some momentum going that way. Right now, I don't feel anything one way or the other. So I don't know what's going on with Hunter, what the Vikings will do if they'll decide to bring him back or not. But 29 years old, costs a lot of money. A team that kind of needs to start rebuilding. I don't know.
Well, we'll find out real quick the direction this team is going in the offseason. If they're still in win it now mode, I could see him absolutely coming back, but he's definitely a mystery. Definitely a mystery. Next up, a guy, again, another mystery, and I would have never thought he was going to be on this list, and chances are he probably will be back, but after the season he just had.
Yeah, he could finish as the only lead back in Viking history since all the way back to 1961 when we were just a young fetus of a team to not finish the year with a rushing touchdown. Absolutely insane. Really, really one of the biggest underachievers in this team this year. We actually thought he'd be like 1,200 rushing yards, maybe 400 receiving yards, touchdowns close to double-digit range combined. Been an absolute failure as a lead back. Alexander Madison needs to be a number 2, and I don't know if that number 2 is going to be here next year. He may be taking number 2 somewhere else.
Well, and here's the thing is, a lot of people point to the offensive line. I should say some people point to the offensive line. There's been a lot worse running backs with a lot worse offensive lines that have done a lot better. So that's just too easy for me. I mean, Madison, he didn't show up. It wasn't the same Madison we saw. Granted, we didn't stick to running the ball, and he did have a few good games, but here's the issue is he's too damn expensive. But even if we cut him, we're going to eat a ton. He's a $4.6 million cap hit next year, and we eat $4 million if we cut him. He's going to be the 14th highest paid running back next year. The only reason he doesn't come back is if we find some way in hell to trade him and somebody take that contract on. So I think he will be back.
Yeah, maybe, can you restructure, do something there to get that number down? But Alexander Madison, really one of the biggest disappointments this year.
Was our running game as a whole.
Was.
Next one, KJ Osborne coming off his rookie contract, looking to get paid. But will anybody pay him?
Well, again, a guy who was in a contract year, we thought he would explode. Maybe to the point of you holding off Jordan Addison. That did not happen. Osborne, kind of weird year. He had some big games. Also had a stretch where he was just absolutely quiet. He had some drops, which is kind of uncharacteristic of him as well. So KJ Osborne, I don't know if there's a place, what he's going to get on the open market. I think a team will pay for him. He has a chance to be a number 2. He ain't going to be a number 2 here with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. The best he'll be is that third option. So KJ Osborne, this might be actually mutual beneficial. He could be, higher up on someone else's depth chart, make some money, and the Vikings can go in a different direction.
We don't want him back. I mean, I wish him well. I honestly, I never thought he was going to come back after the last couple of years he's been having, just because I figured someone was going to pay him. 7 drops this year.
Yeah.
He had 7 drops in his whole career. Last year, 0 drops. Year before, 2. He's had 2 career drops. He has 7. Just could not rely on him. Maybe he had something going on, but he's like a number 3. He's still a number 3 on pretty much any team in this league, and we're not going to pay for it. We got our two top guys. And maybe it's a draft pick like Osborne was in round 5. Maybe it's Naylor, somebody like that, but we don't need him. And I don't think there's any way in hell he comes back.
Brandon frickin' Powell's the guy.
Brandon Powell, I love Brandon Powell. I'd love for Brandon Powell to come back. And I do hope Osborne finds somebody to pay for him, because we see year in and year out in free agency, teams pay some receivers some ridiculous money.
Oh, he'll get some money. I have no doubt about that. He'll get overpaid.
$7.5 million.
How much?
$7.5 million a year, which actually, when you look at the receiver market, isn't that great, but it's all right.
We'll see. He's a quality receiver. Some team will pay for him.
Next up, Jordan Hicks, the old man. He is an unrestricted free agent, just like KJ Osborne and Daniil Hunter, and 31 years old, but this is his best season he's had as a pro. I know he had some injury and he was out for a while, but was it Brian Flores? What is it? Did he have a resurgence? But this was his best year, and he overachieved and was a big part of why this defense was so damn good.
Yeah, next to Daniil Hunter, he was the biggest playmaker on this defense. Go back to the Bears game. He forced a fumble, scooped it up, scored. A couple things against him. Obviously, 31 years old, and I think his replacement's already on the roster. We've seen him, Ivan Pace Jr. is here. He can take over as the inside linebacker, the middle linebacker, calling the defense. We have him on the roster. That's like one of the few young spots on this defense we can feel good about. So Jordan Hicks, 31 years old, great season. Thank you for what you did this year, but I think the Vikings will move on from him.
I hope he comes back on a 1-year contract. I would love him to come back. Ivan Pace is fun to watch. I still don't think he's like, I wouldn't mind if he wasn't starting again next year. I think he's got a ways to go, but Jordan Hicks is so much better than Pace.
You think of the stretch he put together there, Ivan Pace Jr., capitalized with the Raiders game. It really, I mean, the defense, they were flying high without Jordan Hicks there for a while. And I get it. I get the playmaking. Would love to have him back. Yeah, but the team needs to put money elsewhere. I think they will pass on from Hicks.
You can get him for like $3.5 million. Absolutely.
See.
All day.
We'll see what the market bears.
Yeah. So let's keep moving. Let's go to our center, Garrett Bradberry, who Vikings rewarded after a great 2022 season. And this year, he started off pretty good. Last half of the season has been a damn near a disaster. It's been a poopy diaper.
It's been like he was earlier in his career. Garrett Bradberry, he was a Pro Bowl alternate. I couldn't believe that when KOC announced that. I was like, what the hell? Horrible.
He made it up.
Horrible game last week against the Packers. Personally, I would love to see the team move on, whether that's a form of a young rookie who's ready to go, somebody else. Garrett Bradberry. I think he will be back, though, just because I think KOC loves this guy. I don't know what it is. Maybe if they go with Kirk Cousins as well, he's familiar with Bradberry. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's back, but I would like to see him go.
I actually think he's going to be gone. The way they did his contract, I mean, if we cut him post-June, according to Over the Cap, we only eat $114,000 for a couple of years. So that's nothing. I mean, we have a very good out for Bradberry. He had a horrible season. The only thing is, when you're looking at the top centers in the league, if you want a good center, you're paying like $10 million plus. And finding a rookie center, it's pretty hit or miss. And I hate waste a draft pick, not waste, but use a draft pick on a center. But I think he's gone. I think anybody could be better than him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. But at the same time, I think KOC, I mean, he has this bond with his players, and he'll bring them back if he loves you. So I think if KOC's here, I think Garrett Bradberry will be back.
That's true, but also KOC is getting to the point where he might love you, but he's also worried about his job, because next year is going to decide if he comes back.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting, but Bradberry definitely on the fence. Yeah, this one.
Last one, Hitman. Do we even have to say anything? This hurts our heart to even put him on the list, but it's absolutely true. We all know he's older. We all know his play is regressing. He's getting paid $19 million. We save 11 by cutting him. I mean,
yeah, I
don't want to talk about him. It makes me sad.
No, it's true. 33 years old.
This is better.
His age is starting to come up and catch up to him. This last quarter of the season hasn't been great for Harrison Smith. So yes, maybe he'll go with a bang against the Lions. The team usually does pretty damn good against. So I want to see Harrison Smith ball out this Sunday and what will be, I'm very confident to say, his final game as a Viking.
Get a sack, get a pick, do something. But the writing's on the wall. We will see. So let's go through these real quick. Thumbs up or down if they're staying, or if you think they're gone.
I think they're gone. Back. Thumbs up is gone.
No, thumbs up is he's here. So Daniil Hunter. It's back.
Yep.
What's that mean?
I went up.
We're not playing heads up 7 up here.
I went up.
All right, we'll do the gladiator.
All right.
Daniil Hunter, we both think is here. Alexander Madison. We're going to eat $4 million?
We'll find a way to get rid of him. Save some
All right, I like it. I hope you're right. KJ Osborne. Jordan Hicks. I think he'll come back cheap. Garrett Bradberry. Harrison Smith. All right, we disagree on actually quite a bit of those. So I think if we had our way, we would agree on all of these, like as far as if we wanted them back. This is
that's a big difference. If or want, two huge things. And again, some people checking on the season after last week's game. Shame I get it, but I mean, look at some of these guys. You got to watch the game and maybe see their final game in purple. Why would you not send them off?
Absolutely. And there's other guys that didn't make the list, the Greg Josephs, whatever. But these are the big boys. These are the ones that we really, really wanted to hit on. Let us know in the comments who you think's coming back, who you want back, who you don't want back. And hit that sub button.
And remember this, in order to attract females, male kangaroos tense up and flex their muscles when a female walks by.